All
All
right,
right,
we're
we're
live.
live. Cool. What are we doing? What are we talking about today, Len?
Well, today we're talking again about our Global Author Max Grand Prize giveaway. It's our very first kind of prize giveaway that we've ever done on LeanPub. This is, by the way, for LeanPub authors. If you've got a book on LeanPub, then you're eligible to enter. And so, yeah, Peter, why don't you talk a little bit about what it is? Oh, and by the way, there's a deadline. We're doing the draw tomorrow, September 17th, probably sometime in the afternoon Pacific time. So you've got some time left, but not much. If you're a LeanPub author, you're going to want to enter now. It's a really great prize that will presumably or hopefully help you reach a lot more people with your book.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna just add a window to the thing. I'll add it to the stage. Um, okay. So yeah. So I'm just gonna click on the link in the author forum. If you're a LeanPub author and you don't know, we have an author forum. We do. So we have an author forum where you can ask questions or you can email hello. So I can just click the link here, and here we are. This is the form. Basically, this is the giveaway form. And this is it. Like if you just click a few circles, put your email in, and what book do you think is a good candidate for it? This is the giveaway. But what I'm going to do is just go to LeanPub again and just go into what all the various components of Global Author Max are, because so frankly, we've been looking through everything and realized that again, if you're a long time LeanPub author, you'll know that one of the things I do wrong all the time is make things too complicated initially. And so Global Author was too complicated. We used to have 4 plans. Now we only have 3, and we've streamlined everything. So here's what Global Author is. Global Author Max is basically the same as what we've had in the giveaway. We realized, however, that it was too cheap, and so now it's $59.99. So I'm going to talk about all the various components of it. Yeah. So first off, Index AI. So Index AI is basically like, first of all, Global Author is for books that are written using LeanPub, not like upload mode books. And so if you're writing in LeanPub, you're writing in plain text in Markdown. And Index AI is our AI service that goes into your manuscript and puts index entries in it. And then once we've done that, you can preview it. Your book will have an index. Now, we actually do this in a clone of your book, like a copy. And the reason why is so that if you don't like what Index AI does, you can be like, no, I don't like that. And if you want to learn more about Index AI, you just click on the link here in our like giant monster hamburger menu. Index AI, it's a $249 service. We previously had it cheaper. That was really stupid. It's an amazing service. It should be priced accordingly. Next up, Accessibility Pro. This is not currently a standalone service. It might be at some point. If it is, it'll probably be like $649, maybe more. The idea about Accessibility Pro is, so Index AI goes into your book and puts index entries in it. Accessibility Pro goes into your book and puts alt text on all your images. And so you'd be like, well, then Peter, why isn't it like $249? And it's like, well, because we also do stuff. We go and make sure that the book passes a thing called Ace by Daisy, which is an accessibility checker. And so if your book with Accessibility Pro, we basically make sure all your images have alt text and make sure that basically like your book passes Ace by Daisy, so it's accessible for everyone. And then with those two things done, we then translate your book using Translate AI into 31 languages. Includes translating your images, your index, and translating your alt text. So we don't actually touch your images, but what we do is translate the alt text. So then that'll have like localized alt text, and it'll have localized index entries, and your whole book gets translated. And it's pretty awesome. Course AI Max, which is an amazing thing. So actually, before I move on, Translate AI also, we made it a bit more expensive because it was like $149 for 3 languages. Now it's $249 for 3 languages. And then I'm a bit cheesy here, $250 for every group of 3 languages afterward, so that the prices are nice numbers. So you can be like, hey, I've got a book. I'm going to do like 3 languages, French, German, Spanish. And then it's like $249. I can add in like, say, Chinese, Japanese, Korean $4.99. If you're like, hey, I want both Chinese, then it's like $7.49. But then but then we're trying to be helpful. We're going, hey, you can get 2 more languages. So you can be like, hey, I'm going to add Italian, say, and Brazilian Portuguese. So it's an amazing deal if you think like the idea of you can get your book translated into like 9 languages for $749. Or if you select all of them, which I can just do right now, you'll see that basically we also say, oh, if you get all 31, we'll just pretend you were getting 30. And so this is $24.99. And so, yeah, $24.99. So that's Translate AI. And so besides all this, so like we have Translate AI, which is $24.99, Index AI, which is like $6.49, Index AI is $2.49, Accessibility Pro is $6.49 value, but we haven't made it separate. Course AI Max, which is just an incredible product, service. It's basically like lots of, I've talked a lot about Course AI, but in case this is your first time hearing any of these live streams, lots of LeanPub books are really suitable to being adapted into being courses. And the only thing that's really stopping authors is the time to figure out how do you make a course on LeanPub. And so we do this now with AI. Course AI is more expensive now as well. The Course AI Max is a crazily good deal because not only do we make the course using AI, also Len interviews you for like about 3 hours of interviews over Zoom, and these are sort of private interviews about the content of your book, which is being turned into a course. And then what we do is we slice and dice the Zoom interviews into like videos, like 1 per lesson, which are sort of at the beginning of the lesson explaining like, hey, here's why this is important. They're intended to be like evergreen content, not like duplicative of like the course material, but something that more like, why is the course material important? And they're really good. And the nice thing about this, besides being really good content, there's 2 other things that are good about it. One is having private video that's exclusive to the course helps you justify having the higher price for the course, because we want authors charging like $129 to $249, $349 for their course. For a book, which should normally be $20 or $40, literally charging $129 to $249 or more for their course. And this is being targeted at like corporate training budgets. And they'll be happier getting a $129 course than a $29 course. I don't think you'll be able to convince your HR department, yeah, let me do a $29 course at work. But if you're like, hey, there's a course and it's about like, something hot and new, say like MCP or whatever, and you're like, it's a $549 course. Well, that sounds serious, but I better do it, right? You're helping your reader by taking your book, making it into a course, jacking up the price, and adding an exclusive video and adding quizzes, exercises, a certificate of completion, and all the stuff, because you're letting them learn the material in your book as a course at work. And it's awesome. And then the other great thing about this is, since Len does these wonderful interviews with you, we can slice and dice and make clips for YouTube shorts and social media promotion and blah, blah, blah. So super great. But wait, there's more. GlobalAuthor Max, besides doing all that, we also publish your book on Amazon in English only. If you want your book on Amazon with all the translations, well, you can't have it. But if you want your book on Amazon with 14 of the 31 translations, that's GlobalAuthor Ultra, but that's $18,000. And we're not giving that away because it's a horrible pain in the ass to do. And I don't want to do that as part of any kind of contest. And a 2-month shelf spot is what GlobalAuthor Max includes now. But actually, as part of the giveaway, we're going to give away a 3-month shelf spot because that's what GlobalAuthor Max used to have. So this is we just thought, oh, we'll segment this to be like 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, because it's more simple and clean that way, like it's a progression. But since the contest was saying 3 month when we launched it, it's 3 month for the lucky contest winner. Everything else is the same as what we'd said we were going to do. So GlobalAuthor Max is amazing. And you're like, Accessibility Pro, Index AI, Translate AI, all 31 languages, Course AI Max with the interviews, and published on Amazon, and a shelf spot. That's an incredible value. So, someone's going to win that tomorrow. That's what I've got. Len, what about you? Oh, you're muted because you were posting clips and stuff. So I assume you're muting yourself to type.
Yeah, sorry. That's why I didn't want in case something auto played or something like that.
Yeah.
But if you see any comments posting during this, that was me poking around and getting better at it. Yeah, the one thing I would say is that like this is becoming more of a well understood thing in the publishing world, but like a book is kind of like a book manuscript is the start of the production of a lot of different things for people, right? So one of those is a book, right? But that's only one of them. With a manuscript, we can turn that into other things. Like say on LeanPub, we can turn it into a course. A course is then something that people can buy and then get their use for their professional development hours, things like that. And just think about how amazing that is, right? You started out writing a book. Obviously you're probably passionate about it. You've got something to say. You've got something to share with the world. And now with LeanPub, you can, once that book manuscript is finished, you can click a button and turn it into a course where people can take quizzes and get graded and get a certificate, which matters for social proof, but it also matters if you're doing professional development in various circumstances, show your boss, what have you. If you're a boss, it means you can buy, instead of buying a bunch of books, which is awesome and great, but you might want to get them courses. And if they can get a course from it, then they can, sort of show proof and prove to themselves too, by the way, because if you've ever read a book, you probably came away about like AI or something like that. You probably came away overconfident about how much you understood. If you can take it in course form, I'm speaking about myself there, but you could take it in course form, you realize, oh, I actually didn't really understand that as well as I thought. Then you can read that passage again and take it again. Like if you're an adult professional trying to learn something for real, the course is very good. But of course, the other thing that can turn into is not just in the sense of kind of transforming the content mechanically that way, programmatically that way, but we all understand, well, if you write a book, that can turn into giving a talk, that can turn into that can turn into lectures, that can turn into conference presentations, that can be being invited to speak at conferences, things like that. And one thing that what you can also do now is you can translate it, you can turn that book and manuscript into books in different languages. You can reach entire audiences around the world that would have previously been completely excluded to you in their language, like learning. And like, so you've written one book manuscript, and now you can have it in like 31 translations in 31 different markets, essentially. So don't hold yourself back if you've written a book manuscript. There are all these opportunities out there for you. As with all such things, there's no guarantee how well it's going to do. That's going to be largely contingent on how much work you do promoting it. But if you do this Global Author Max, for example, we're doing a lot of help. You're going to sit down with me for 3 hours doing conversations that we're going to record, we're going to edit, we're going to produce and add to your course. And then that, like when you can say to people, there's going to be 2 or 3 hours of like recorded interviews with the author in the course that only you get if you buy it. That's amazing. It actually makes the courses way better. And like imagine opening up a course and seeing 2 happy smiling faces in a video you can click. That's amazing. But we also produce short videos from it that we put on our YouTube channel and that you can use to repurpose and things like that. And then that opens up all kinds of new opportunities for you to market your book. I mean, just the main thing I'm sort of getting passionate about here is like, if you've written a book manuscript, don't stop there and hold back. You've produced something that can be turned into lots of different things now. And that's the key to sort of succeeding in self-publishing these days, is to understand that you've got many more than like things than just a book when you've written a book manuscript. Keep that in mind. There's podcasting here. There's a number of things. And LeanPub with this Global Author package, I mean, it's hard to say what it would have cost to actually do something like this in time and money in the past.
I mean, that would be laughable, like 31 translations, right? Like, I mean, I was joking about it in the early live stream. I'm like, David Ogilvy's like Confessions of an Advertising Man is like 14 translations. And that's like a book that's had millions of sales, right? Like, it's like, so, but think about it this way, just in terms of not sunk costs, but like, think about like when you write a book, like my first book took me about 1,000 hours. So you do like 1,000 hours. And at the end of it, you're probably so sick of it that it's like, well, geez, I'm done, never again, right? That's quite a lot. I wrote a second book because you forget, but
yes,
but like you've done this, you've put all this work into this thing, right? And then, but you think about how much, if you put 1,000 hours of work into something, then like what you could have earned in exchange like, you know, if you were just doing hourly rate stuff, or if you were working building building a startup, or just working harder at work to like hustle and get promoted or whatever, like you put all this work into the book. Now, what can you do with it? How can you like leverage the growth? You know, like how can like what can you have this asset, right?
Yes.
All now you can put it into all these different channels. You can do all these things, and it's like all you have to do. Now, the neat thing about this is like GlobalAuthor. Well, I was going to say GlobalAuthor doesn't do anything you can't do, but that's not quite true, because Len interviewing you is something you can't do on your own. You have to be involved with us. But like, you know, the translations part, you could go and do a whole bunch of AI translations yourself. It'd be a huge pain in the ass to do. And you could go and make a course and you could figure out how to do it. And like, it's all like, there's no magic here. Like you can create a course on LeanPub without using Course AI. You can create translations yourself. They're just 31 separate LeanPub books. All you have to do is create 31 books and take your manuscript and figure out how to translate it using AI and make 31 different manuscripts and blah, blah, blah. But now all of a sudden you're looking at, geez, that's a lot of work. Wouldn't it be amazing if I could just click a button and then also have the interviews with Len and the social media stuff? And, you know, and so we have all this amazing stuff. And, you know, the benefit to you of all of that stuff existing instead of just your book, like you have all these other things, and the core of it is your book, right? And it all just enhances your book. It's like, hey, I have this amazing book. It's been translated in all these languages. There's a course based on it. Here are the interviews of me talking to Len about it, right? And so it's like all these things. It's just like, you know, if you think about all the like,
Well,
go ahead.
and we're kind of burying at something very important here, which is if you do this GlobalAuthor, you get published on Amazon by us. We do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we do all of it.
And your book is in hardcover and paperback. I mean, you know, and we take care of it all for you. Like, just imagine you've written a book manuscript, and now if it's on LeanPub, and then you can click it. It'll cost some money, but you can click a button, and like you can tell people when you're at a conference, go to Amazon, my book's there. You can get it in paperback. You can order copies for yourself to give to your friends and family, or as a calling card. You can send it to people, influential people in your field, for free to promote it. Like, there's just all kinds of incredible things that you can do when you've got that core thing. You've written a book manuscript. On LeanPub, you can click these magic buttons that do amazing things for you, including getting your book in print. And we're giving one. The whole point of this live stream is we're giving one of these things away for free. GlobalAuthor Max. It's not just worth the money that it would cost you to buy it. Like, it's worth,
which it is,
the benefit you're going to get. Yeah, but it's worth the benefit that you're going to get. You've written this manuscript. Now you can go out and do all these, produce all these new things from it.
So yeah, it's great. So that's tomorrow. And the funny thing is, we're kind of new at this, and so one thing we didn't do in our questionnaire is like make people consent to having the winner announced live. So we're not going to announce who won, but down the road,
we get their permission.
Like down the road, we'll ask whoever does win. We'll ask them, "Hey, can we please announce that you won?" And they might say no, but if they say yes, hopefully, then you know, like we'll be able to like hype that up. And when we do another one of these down the road, presumably, hopefully, then we'll be smarter about how we do our questionnaires. But anyway, lessons learned.
And if you haven't found the links to this,
let's do that again.
Giveaway. So the links are in. I've made some comments on Twitter and LinkedIn, and they're on YouTube and stuff like that. But if you go to leanpub.com/blog, you'll find an article about it right there.
Yeah, I'll just share my screen again. Let's just do that right now. I'll go add myself to the stage again. And let's just say we didn't know where we were going. And we went to blog, which is just in the hamburger menu blog. And then here we are. And we're looking for GlobalAuthor. Here we are, the money. And enter. So here we go. This is happening tomorrow. So yeah, good luck. Enter the thing. There are, your chances of winning this are a lot higher than winning most lotteries, put it that way. And it's not a lottery, it's a giveaway, but there's considerably fewer entrants than normal things that get given away. Cause again, we're this little bootstrap startup based in Canada. So if you're a LeanPub author, it's worth a minute of your time to fill this in. Maybe even worth 2 or 3 minutes, because I'm not sure. It'll take you between 1 and 3 minutes probably. So thank you guys, and see you guys in the normal live stream Friday or sooner. All right.
Okay. Bye everybody.